Hey everyone, happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm so happy to have you join me here tonight. I'm here every weeknight at 9:30 p.m. Central, and we relax and craft and chit chat and work on a project together. Right now, we are working on the Jacquelynne Steves I Love Home Block of the Month quilt along. There are 4 blocks total. It's a completely free project, so I put a link above in the description box here of how you can sign up for that. Just go to the Jacquelynne Steves website and sign up for the block of the month, and you will get block 1 and block 2 sent to you already. We are on block 2 of 4. Here is block 2 right there. So we will be continuing that tonight. I'm doing a combo of needle turn, applique, and embroidery for mine. So here we are so far. We just got started with the embroidery, but like, I love we put a little JA in the tree there. That's my favorite part so far. So we'll be working on the embroidery of this more today. I'm hoping we can finish this entire block this week. I'm even hoping that we might have one day left over, so we'll see. Because next week on the 18th, we will be starting from Wisecraft Quilts. We will be starting the hand-stitched English paper piecing project. Here we go. We will be doing this project right here from the book. It is completely English paper pieced, and I'm super duper stoked to get started on that. I did send an email out about that this morning. Or it wasn't this morning, it was this afternoon. So there should be more info there. I do have a link for that as well. Go to Blair's website above, the Wisecraft website, and she'll have more info there about the project. But awesome, guys. Happy again to have you in here. Oh, one last thing. Well, maybe more than one last thing, but with the giveaway from last week, I will be sharing the winner for that on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. And thanks again for entering, everyone. That was last week with the hashtag I Love Home quilt. So that's it. We, last day to enter was yesterday, so I will be choosing a winner and letting you guys know who the winner is. It's for the Sarah J. Fat Quarter Bundle, so that will be coming up as well. Thanks again for everyone who entered. I really do appreciate that. And I wanted to show you what I made on Saturday here. I finished my So Sweetness Kismet trinket box here. So I made it out of the Craft a Happy Life thing that we did for the Craft a Happy Life project. I made that extra embroidery onto the jeans, but I improv pieced the kind of outside with more jeans and then made it into the little Kismet trinket box. So this is the So Sweetness Kismet trinket box. I made the big one. And after making this, I definitely recommend making the big one first. And I recommend making it out of something other than jeans. It was kind of tough making it with the jeans. Just all the thickness or maybe I'm just not used to it, making more hand-baked type stuff. But I would recommend doing the largest version, which is this. And I would recommend getting her kit as well because there's foam in here and some other products. And I have never used those products before. So getting the kit, you'll get an intro to those products right away. And that's what I had to for this. But look, I made the inside out of, I did that kind of the improv piecing as well and just used a bunch of scraps that I had of Penguin and Fish fabric. So check that project out. I am like over the moon with it. I just really love how it came out. But yeah, it's a little bit more advanced compared to like the travel art tote that we did a few months ago. I would say it's the next step up from there, but her instructions are great, and it was fun. Got to finish the project on Saturday. That's always a good feeling. So thanks for letting me share with you guys. All right, now on to tonight's project, Jacquelynne Steves, Block 2. We will keep going with the embroidery. And thanks so much for your shares and all those. I'm seeing the hearts and the thumbs up come on. I so do appreciate that. Everything you do as far as the hearts and the shares and the thumbs up, that helps us, the algorithm, help us get boosted up so more Penguin and Fish peeps and friends can see this. So I really do appreciate that. Thanks guys again. Let's get going. Okay, time to embroider. So, all right, first up, let's get it back in the hoop. I am using, oh, here, I need to scooch back a little. Can't see you guys typing. All right, so I am using my 8-inch hoop with the wrapped edge. And again, I'm using my wrapped hoop just because it helps give kind of it helps like, so I don't have that kind of harsh fold that happens when you put the hoops together. And I think it just protects my applique a little bit more. Ooh, hi from wet Alabama. Oh, thanks for coming, Ramona. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Yolanda. All right, first of all, what do I need a hoop up here? I'm going to be working in this area tonight, I think, so I just want to make sure that that area is in the hoop, kind of centered in the hoop. Scooch it down a little bit. You could actually wrap your outer hoop too if you really wanted to. And you don't need to wrap your hoop at all, really. I mean, I'm removing the hoop when I'm done working to help avoid that crease. And we're going to be wetting it all down anyway when we're done to take off all these water-soluble markers. So I'm not too worried about, you know, a permanent crease or anything. All right, so getting it in here, just kind of pulling on the fabric a little so it's taut, mostly just so it's even. I don't want to really stretch it. Oh, Nancy, you love the all embroidery behind me. Oh, I appreciate that. That is from my book, Sew and Stitch Embroidery. It is it's the actual one from the book. All right, a little bit more. The problem with it is Facebook flips it when it does a mirror image of things when the camera is pointed towards you. So there's type on it, and it's hard to read the type because it's in reverse. But I do have it available. It's part of my book, Sew and Stitch Embroidery. I think I have a link to that here. Otherwise, it's on my website. Okay. So last time we went around this area with all our little straight marks, and I was going to come back around the whole entire border edge, this other blue line, with a back stitch. Oh, it says MK, it says what a lovely evening. Let me see if I can find it in the book so you can see what it looks like for real, not in reverse. Hold on a sec. So this is my book, Sew and Stitch Embroidery. Let's see. I know I think it's towards the front, actually. Oh, there it is. So there we go. What a lovely evening. So that's the guy behind me there. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to just do back stitch around here again. Yep, Sally. So the I Love Home giveaway, that is done. I will be announcing a winner on Thursday, I think. Oh, Irene, you're making the barn owl from the book. Ah, that's awesome. Yep, there's a couple more owls in the book. There's some pillows with the owl. Oh, you can't hear, Mary Alice. I would try, well, if you can't hear, but sometimes uninstalling Facebook and installing it again will help, and sometimes Facebook just isn't working right. All right, guys, here's a little, I haven't had one of these in a while, but when you embroider, you might get knots like this pretty often. It's like a little knot with a big ol' loop on it. And the reason that's happening is your thread is twisting around itself and then pulling tight and then like capturing that loop. There's a really easy way to get rid of these loops. You just put your needle through the loop, and if you pull on it a little, the loop should slide right up to the needle. And then if you go through the thread in the middle there, it'll just pop right out. So if you ever get one of those loops, those loopy knots when you're embroidering, that is the trick to get rid of them. And I've been kind of waiting for one of those to show you guys, because we haven't really had one of those in a while here. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys tonight. The other night, Facebook was kind of making this part a little dark. Maybe we'll get another one of those knots. I'm pretty good at avoiding those knots now, and I think some of it is because we've been pulling all those 3 strands out of our thread. So it's, oh good, thanks Deborah. So my thread lays flatter, and I think that helps avoiding those loops. And a lot of it is, you know, my active left hand again. So, oh, thank you, Nancy. So my left hand is always feeling the needle come and go. It's always feeling the thread come through. I always have my finger there. And then when I make my next stitch, I pull the thread away, find the next stitch, and it's holding the thread away while my thread goes through, and I can usually feel if there's any knots that happen. Oh, Sharon, thanks so much. You guys are sweet. But anyway, that is my active left hand. Like I'm really actually using my left hand back here. I'm feeling everything. That really helps avoid those knots. Especially the pulling the thread away while you're working on your next stitch. I think that's usually when the knots happen the most. All right, and that's why I usually like having what I'm stitching not all the way in the center. Sometimes I like it a little off to the side, so you know, with my small hands, I can hold my hoop and still have that active back hand, so I can feel my stitches. That's also why I'm upside down right now, because it's the easiest way for me to hold the hoop and stitch. But yeah, so with the I Love Home quilts giveaway, it looks like that there will be other giveaways when the next blocks come out as well. So keep your eye open for that. We'll be doing a couple more giveaways for this project, it looks like. I'm really hoping we can get this block done by Friday. I don't think the sewing will take that long. It all kind of depends on how long this embroidery will take. I do think it might take maybe, do you think it'll take 2 days, 2 evenings for the sewing? I'm not sure. I don't remember how long it took for the last one. But all the pieces are cut, and that's a huge bonus, so that'll make things go really, really quickly. That's always the biggest thing for me. That cutting, I don't know. Let me know what your guys' favorite tell me your least favorite part of quilting. Let's start there. I don't want to say tell me your best or worst part of quilting or of a project, because then I won't know. If you just say it, I won't know which is the best or worst. So tell me what your least favorite part is. Mine is still the cutting and sometimes the ironing. That's tough for me too. Oh, Patricia, I miss you. Wherever you cut the floss from that cone is where the knot should be. Do the direction of the fiber is where you cut. Oh, that's where you knot. Okay, Patricia, I will do that with the next one. You have to sew the strips and cut them. Okay, probably 2 nights. Okay. Oh, good, you can hear now, Mary Alice. Cutting. Oh, binding, Amy, that's funny. I really love binding. What type of needle do you use for the English paper piecing? Oh, Tamara, that's a good question. You know what? I think I'm going to use those straw or Milner's needles. So you do want to use probably something a little more delicate than the embroidery needle. Like I'm using a size 5 embroidery needle right now. I would use something a little thinner than that. It's probably pretty similar to what you would use for needle turn applique because you are sewing through those little little folds. So you want to kind of be precise and delicate about it, is my thought. You don't want to be making huge holes with a fat needle. So I don't know, let's, we're gonna have to try. I'll try with my straw needle first. Oh yeah, I'm using a size 10. So a size 10 straw needle is what or Milner's, same difference, is what I'm using for the needle turn applique. That's what I did these with. So I'm thinking I will probably use the same thing for the English paper piecing. However, if that ends up being weird, like if it's weird for me with the long needle, then I'll switch back to just my little thin sharps needle. But I think thin, like a size 10, is probably a good idea. Oh, making the quilt sandwich. Oh, Deborah, you know what? See, that's one of the things I forgot about. There's always a few steps that when I think through the process, I forget about, but you're right. I'm not a huge fan of the sandwiching the quilt either. It's just a lot of time on the floor for me. I bought the fabric bundle. Can you tell me where I go for the cutting instructions? The fabric, Mary Alice, the fabric bundle for this project, the I Love Home project. The instructions are on on Jacquelynne Steves' website. I put a link. There's a link in this post to the Jacquelynne Steves I Love Home block of the month. If you sign up for that, it's free, but you do have to sign up to her list to get it. If you do that, after signing up, the emails should be sent to you. So they should be in those emails. And if you're not finding those emails, make sure to check your spam and promotions folders and all that. Oh, measuring the top before adding the borders. Bugs me to have to know the measurement. Oh, see, I'm like that too. I just want to slap them on too. And you know what I usually do? Just slap them on. I'm not very good at the whole being precise with quilting. I kind of just like doing it as you do. Okay, so you did sign up, Mary Alice. Okay, so all the instructions, all the cutting instructions, all the block, well, not all the blocks 1 and 2. You should have all that then. Oh, choosing colors. I find that difficult's not the right word. I find that it doesn't come easily and I have to take time with it, the thinking about colors, but I don't know, I kind of enjoy it, so I wouldn't call it difficult. But yeah, there's the stress of what is this going to turn out to be, but I kind of find that exciting. Yep, sandwich quilting on the floor, I'm with you with that, Libby, but you guys had some great ideas on alternatives to that, so I'd like to try some alternatives to floor sandwiching. One was doing it on the wall, however, I don't really have wall space. That's a problem. I don't have space to do any of these other ones other than the floor. Even there was that with the pool noodles, doing the pool noodles where you wrap your quilt on a pool noodles and do it. That still requires like a large table that I don't have. Oh, I already have a 3-piecer ready here, pre-cut. This is the second half of the 3 strands that we were using for that. So I am going to do that thing where I pull out all the strands again, because then it will lie flatter. So again, to separate the strands, you're just going to hold them in between your finger. Let's see, I'm not sure I'm in focus there. Isolate one. And you have to do this one at a time. So isolate one and then just pull it out, let it bunch up behind you, behind your fingers there, and then it'll just release. And then you can put it together. So, you know, the reason I did that when it's already 3, like why bother separating them and putting them back together again, is because it does lie flatter. Like now it's not all twisted. And I found, based on what you guys were telling me too, and just from doing it here, it doesn't twist as much. So I'm liking that. Yeah, I did a little bit more. I do about 2 feet's worth, so about 24 inches. Sometimes I go a little longer just because I don't want to change threads as often. But yeah, an arm's length, about 24 inches to 30 inches. That's about what I end up doing. Oh, you do the basting on a big table. Yeah, all that stuff on the floor. Not a fan of that. I always find that interesting, the different things that people really like and then other people just hate it. It's always kind of like a mirror image. Like no one's kind of ho-hum about anything. It's always, you know, whatever someone really, like everyone's okay with piecing, right? Everyone's either in the middle about that, right? But you either love or you hate binding, or you love or you hate ironing. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel. Maybe that's not true, but it kind of seems like that. All right, so I'm just weaving it in 3 times here, trying to catch as many threads as I can. That kind of locks it in place, the thread in place, versus a knot. And then I can do that. Ooh, 2 folding tables instead of the floor. Yeah, really the floor is the only big enough place I have. But I suppose if you do the pool noodle, where did I end off? Oh, right there. If I do the pool noodle technique, even if it is on the floor, that might be still nicer than taping it down and crawling all over the floor. I don't know. But I should give another way of doing it a try. Yeah, Kim, I'm with you. I love binding. It's relaxing, and I feel like you get that feeling like, yeah, I'm doing the last thing I need to do on this quilt. Isn't that exciting? It's going to be almost done. So there's that element to binding too, I think. Oh, how clean my applique is on the back. Oh, that's nice. With just my little stitches. Yeah, I did the needle turn applique, so you really only have to grab a tiny little piece before moving on. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should get some knee pads. I think they actually make those for quilting, but I think they're just like gardening knee pads, or maybe like volleyball knee pads or something. Ugh, it's just a lot of bending over and all that too. But it's one step closer. You know, I don't especially like pressing, but it's not because I don't like pressing. It's because I always forget that it's a step. Oh, a gardening pad. Oh, that's a good idea, Mary Alice. That's smart. That's what I should do. Like what you wore for basketball. Exactly, Phyllis. Exactly. All right, we are rounding the top of this thing. Now I could start jumping up and doing this one, but I think I'll come back to that house. I'll just stick with this house for now. Oh, have I ever noticed that sewing from left to right or right to left makes a difference? I haven't ever thought about that before. I feel like it changes because sometimes, you know, if I'm sewing this way, then it switches it up if I'm upside down. So it's not like I'm sewing one side so I don't touch it for the rest of the time or something like that. I don't know. It's probably personal preference. The way I usually think about it is what's the most underneath lowest object, and then working up from there, which I'm doing the opposite of right now, which is kind of silly. Like in theory, I would do this house piece first because this house piece kind of lives on top of it. Like in theory, this house in real life, or this garage or something, would be in front, or not a garage, this is like the front door bump out would be in front. So typically I would think about doing this piece first, but it's really only this little bit here. Oh, reading the pattern. Reading the pattern is no fun. That, you know, that's interesting. That I'm just starting to do more of that, right? Because now I'm doing, you know, all these designer projects here. Before that, I didn't do a whole ton of stuff with other people's patterns. I like just coming up with something and just experimenting. So that's been kind of interesting, reading other patterns. And yeah, you can really tell, you really get a sense that people learn in different ways. Because like with this last pattern, the Kismet trinket boxes, the So Sweetness thing, I was really happy for the photos, because that helped explain the text for me. Like sometimes I really have to read text lots of times because it's just so interesting. And I write patterns too, you know, and it's so interesting how you take this part of the sentence and put it in the front, or this one word and put it there, and it can completely change how someone can interpret the meaning of that sentence. And it's a tough thing to catch. And it's just kind of a little fascinating to me. So for me, I think it's really good to think about that and have those images in there. Like the more images, the better, I think. The nice thing about the Kismet trinket boxes too is she has videos that go along with a lot of that too. So yeah, now it's videos too. If you can have videos of a project, even better. So what you can see here, I'm just weaving up the side. I'm gonna start stitching straight down here. So instead of jumping there where I could see it behind, I just wove it in the back, and now I'm gonna start down there. Oh, Phyllis, yep, that's definitely a thing. Phyllis says sometimes the writer skips some steps since they think you should know it. Yeah. Or if you're a beginning quilter and then there's some terms thrown out that you don't know, like, you know, WOF, for example, is something I saw a lot when I was just beginning and didn't know what it meant, but that means the width of fabric. And even that, the width of fabric, what does that mean? You know, it's the width from selvage to selvage. It's the length from selvage to selvage, and then what does that mean? What is a selvage? You know what I mean? You just have to really think like a beginner. And so when I see a pattern that does that, but is still just clear and simple, without getting too in the weeds, I mean, I think that's really a craft, a good, that people really work hard for that. And, you know, I'm reading that the Wisecraft quilts book right now, and that book is really good at talking to a beginner, but having it just be clean and simple to read and easy still. So I was pretty impressed with that, because I know that's not always the easiest thing to do. But yeah, for me, visuals help me personally a lot. I think with a lot of crafters it does. Videos for sure help me. And I can do it with reading, but the reading takes me a few good times for sure. And that's kind of no matter what the pattern. I always read the pattern, the whole, whenever, this is like in anything, I read the whole pattern through before doing it. I try and picture me doing each step, and if I get confused during that stage, then I know it's something I have to really look at to make sure I don't mess it up while I'm doing it. Oh, MK, that's sweet. I'm glad. Hey, Varsha from Sydney, you are in the future. I think that's always fun. My future peeps. All right, so I barely have any thread left, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. I think I'm gonna do 3 more stitches. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this before I have to weave in the ends. I don't want one little stitch left over. That'd be a huge bummer. All right, one more here. I'm gonna go up in this hole and then end down here. All right, I'm going right, kind of even tucking my needle underneath my needle turn. All right, just like that, our little house. All right, so like I said, I'm almost out of thread here. I'm gonna weave in the end in the back. Again, trying to just grab as many threads as I can. A little fuzzle. 1, 2, and it's the 3 that hold it in place. Thanks for the hearts. All right. Snip, and again, I snip pretty close to the edge of the thread. All right, now what? What is the plan? I think I might go back now and do this little fringy fringe around kind of this lacy, bubbly area around the heart here. Yeah, and then I think we'll head to the door over here. For the door, I think I want to do a chain stitch on the outside, and then we'll just do a back stitch again. But I think I might just do 1 stitch with a little French knot at the top of the doorknob. I think that would look like a doorknob, don't you think? Like a little French knot with a line underneath it. I think that might be cute. So we'll do that for the doorknob. Hopefully we get that far tonight, I'm not sure. But let's do this little lacy bit here. So I need more thread, get my jugungus roll of floss here. So again, just getting my, I don't know, 24 inches or so. Actually, maybe a little bit longer than that. Okay, so Patricia, you said the part that I cut off from, that's what I should use as my through the needle, and then this other side should be the knot. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to pull my 3 strands out of here again. So again, I'm just going to isolate one strand, and I'm going to hold the rest, just pinching there, just gently pinching, and then I'm going to just pull, and you can actually go relatively quick. And it just bunches up behind, but then it all just releases perfectly. It looks like a crazy knot, but it's not. The knot end is where you cut. Okay, so this is going to be the knot end. All right, we'll give that a try, Patricia. All right, so here's the next one, 2, and 3. Let's isolate 1, make sure it's isolated. If you try doing 2 instead of just 1, it's gonna be a whole big knot. You can only do 1 at a time. And then I just run my fingers through it afterwards just to kind of put them all straight again. All right, don't need that guy anymore. So Patricia, you're saying I should match up these other sides, and then the part that I cut will be the knot, or the part that I weave in, really. Oh, where did I get the big roll of floss? So I actually get my floss from a distributor because I use it in my kits. But I do have a link above. There's some people on Amazon that are, I think DMC actually is selling it. They're selling big cones like this, so I did put a link to that. And actually, they're also selling like these middle-sized cones, so you still can get a lot of thread, but it's just like on a medium-sized cone instead of this large cone. And I was going to look into that because that's a pretty neat size, especially like if you're doing like a red work quilt where it's all just red embroidery, like in a full quilt. That would be a pretty neat deal. All right, so I'm going to do an away knot here. And I'll let you know, I'll show you what that is again. But the The reason being is because, you know, I don't like starting my thread with a knot. I like weaving them in. Oh, they sell them online too? So Holly says that Joanne sells the big cones online. Oh, that's pretty awesome. But, you know, so if I wove my thread in anywhere, I would have to jump to get over to the heart. And I don't want you to see that jump. So I'm going to pretend like I have no stitching and I have to start from scratch. So because I don't have anything to weave my thread in. So I am going to start with an away knot, which means tying a little knot. And we'll go about 4 inches away from where I'll be stitching. This might be more like 5. So we are wasting a little more floss at the beginning, but I won't have that jump at the end. So for now, we're going to forget about that. And let's stitch, oops, I dropped my needle. Stitch these little guys. So when I have these kind of half circles like this, I usually like stitching them with 3 and sometimes 4 stitches. And it usually ends up being, you know, like if we're looking at this with the loop straight up, I usually do an angled one on the right, an angled one on the left, and then a flat one on top. And I feel like that kind of gives me my half circle sort of shape. And if the top is a little bit bigger, like some of these, then I might add an extra little stitch to it. But typically my half circles are made from 3 stitches. And that's how I do like all the eyes. Like you can do like winking eyes like that too, just little half circles. If you're stitching like a little animal or something. All right. What would a chain stitch look like around the heart? Oh, that would be kind of pretty. It would look, if I went directly around the heart, it would look kind of like a thick border. So it'd probably be almost as thick as what these lines are. I would say it'd be maybe a little about from the edge to like where my needle is here. It'd be thicker. And, you know, they do look like little chains, so it would like look like a little kind of chain. But all in all, I think from far away, it would look kind of like a fat border, Wanda. But I think that'd be cute. I mean, and, you know, these sort of projects like this, that's the time to experiment with ideas like that. So if you're thinking you want to give that a try, that would be super cute. If you're, I'm just trying to think about your question a little bit more. If you're thinking, if by chain stitch, if you mean like what if you did pretended like each one of these loops was a chain stitch? Like if you went from, here we'll just do one and then I'm gonna take it out, but I'll show you. If you did stitch from here to here and tacked it down in the middle, kind of like how you do a chain stitch, I think that might work. However, I'd be a little scared that it would end up more like a V-shaped versus a U shape. And we'll just give it a go right now. Let me get to the end of this one first. So to do that, we would come up from one side. This might work if you leave it really loose. So I would come up on one side, go down the other side, at the other side of the half moon. And then before, you know, I'd make this sort of circle, this loop around my shape. And before I pull that loop too tight, I would go up in the center of, let's get it a little bit better in the center of our little shape there. Just like how we do a chain stitch, but instead we're starting like a wide base, like we're way over here and way over here. This is actually a fly stitch. But if I just go like this, and I could just tack it down, and actually that does not look half bad. Maybe we'll just do the rest of them like that. I kind of like that. So that'd be another option to do it. And the trick is though that I did not pull this very tight. I tacked it down while it was still this half moon shape. Because let's say I didn't. Let's just pull this up a little bit. Let's say I pulled this tighter and then tacked it down. See, now it's starting to look more like a V shape. You know what I'm saying? So that loses this whole arch a little bit more. So the trick is to leave it nice and loose and do that. Oh, you did this for the roof. Oh, and it looked like scallops. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to do this for the rest of these. There, so I made it loose again and then tacked it down. The looseness keeps that half moon shape. So we'll do the rest like this, and we'll see. You know, from far away you won't be able to tell a difference, but from up close we'll have like these 4 little ones that are backstitched. But yeah, so that's working okay. I was thinking it would be a little too much like a V. But that, you know, as long as I don't pull it too tight. Yeah, I think once you widen the base like that, you know, by the base I mean like we're coming out of the fabric and going into the fabric in a different spot. Not the same spot or almost the same spot. I think it's called a fly stitch then, when you have that wider base. Yeah, this is pretty cute. It is fun, and I think these stitches are a little faster too. We're gonna do it! Awesome! I like it. I just gotta remember, don't pull it tight. Leave it a little loose. Sometimes that's a hard thing for my brain to want to do, you know? Keep it gentle and nice. But that's looking actually really cute. Then you get this actual little tack down there, which is almost as if you did a loop with a little, I don't know, little something extra on it. So that tacking it down is almost another little decorative shape. Yes, it looks more lacy. I totally agree, Patricia. I like it. Good suggestion, Wanda. I think it's pretty sweet looking. And it does go faster, which is always good. Yeah, I think we might just only get this loop done tonight, these loops. Maybe we can jump to that other heart and do those loops tonight yet too. That'd be kind of cool. Oops, that one's kind of funny. That's okay. Yeah, maybe I can make that a little rounder. There we go. Just make sure you're going up in between your round circle there so that your thread can catch that loop before it goes all the way through. Then you're just tacking it down. It's sweet. It does look lacy. I like it. That would have been cute to do on that other house too. You're right, with the scalloped edge. Well, from here on out, if we have any more little scalloped bits in any of the block 3 or block 4, we'll do it this way. I like it. That's a little V-esque, but that's all right. Make this one a little looser. Yeah, it's a little more pointy, but I'm trying to counteract that a little bit by staying loose. I wouldn't call it completely pointy though. Hello, Felicia. Thanks for joining. Alrighty. 2 more here. Oops, I almost got another one of the little knots, I think. Trying to just loosen this one up a hair. There we go. bit better. Oh, awesome. Oh, it's online only. The DMC cone stuff. Yeah, I don't remember if I put a link to that in my post either. There might be a link to this color, but I think that might be the larger cone, not the middle cones. All right, last one. And then I think we'll just end this thread. It's getting a little loopy and unruly. I'll save it though. Maybe I'll need a tiny piece of thread later. But there we go. There's our first little heart. I'm tempted to put one little more bloop on the bottom here. I think I'm gonna. Let's add a bonus bloop. Oh yeah, it'll be up. It's for sure a lifetime supply, that floss, unless you make kits out of it. I've actually gone through a lot of these cones, if you can believe it. It's kind of funny. We save all the cones that we make with the kits, and we have like a whole shelf of them. All right, there we go. I added one extra little bloop. I think that kind of finishes off the little heart a bit. So I like it. I think it's cute. I think it is. I think it's a little more elegant because, you know, here we are making you know, round shapes out of straight lines. So it's almost like computer pixels, right? It's straight bits making something appear round, whereas these are actually round. So I like it. I think it was a good idea. So we'll try that with this one over here. Now these are a little bit bigger loops, so I wonder if we'll get the same effect. I'm hoping they'll still stay round, but I think we might jump over to that side and do that and see how far we can get on that in a few minutes here. So I'm gonna just weave in these ends. I'm not really grabbing a lot very well, but there we go. And see, this thread's just getting a little loopy and stuff. If I need like 3 more stitches or something, I'll not throw that away yet. We might need it. So here's my away knot. I'm gonna snip that off. That was that knot that we made at the beginning. So here it is. I'm snipping it away. And that will, since it's snipped away, now I have just this long edge here, and that will help me weave in the ends, having that long edge, that long tail. And then I won't have any knots on the back. And again, I don't like knots on the back because then my thread can catch on it sometimes when I'm stitching. All right. I do it all by weaving in the ends like this, Felicia. All right, there we are. Snip that, and I would like to get started on this heart too, because why not? Let's do both of these at once. I'm going to start with the away knot again because, again, I don't want to weave into the ends and then jump. I don't want that line to be visible. So let's get our other thread here, and I'm going to, I don't know what I didn't keep track of what my front and back was for this, or the beginning and end of this is, so we'll just put them together normally. I'll just grab the same ends here, and that will just be what's in my needle. All right, let's do it. Got my thread ready. Yep, we're gonna start with an away knot again. Okay, it's cute. I think it needed that extra little bloop. Now this one didn't really have anything at the bottom, but this one kind of does, so I don't know if we'll add that extra one for here. All right, oops, forgot to tie this in a knot. All right, again, doing the away knot. We'll put it right here. Then the hole will be kind of hidden in the ground there. Right, from the front to back, and then that will just hide out there for a little. I'm going to start at the bottom here again. All right, so these are bigger ones than that little heart. So I want to really make sure that I'm staying loose, so I get the rounded shape still. I don't want it to end up being a V. Yeah, that's kind of V-ish, isn't it? We'll keep trying. I still think it's cute though, even if it does end up like as sharp V's. I think that'll be good. Oh, we're graded on both of. Oh my gosh, you're graded on both sides of your garment. Oh my gosh, Carla. Man, French seams, I haven't made any of those in a while. That's awesome that you learned that stuff in school though. That's really cool. That's something I'd like to learn more about, like the clothing design stuff. There we go. That's a good round shape. Woohoo! That's a good one. Yeah, the back of my embroidery, that just comes from, I mean, doing the away knot and weaving in the beginning and tails and the end tails. All that is what helps keep it clean, and the not doing huge jumps, like not going like from here, jumping here to there, not making any toe catchers. That's what we called it on the Splendid Sampler. When you jump from one spot to the other on the back of your embroidery too big. If it's big enough to catch your toe in, then we were kind of deciding it was too big. No toe catchers. Like from here to here, it wouldn't quite be a toe catcher, but I still didn't want you to be able to see that jump on the back. So that's why we started a new piece of floss. Ooh, I kind of feel like I might run out of floss doing this one. Hopefully not. No toe catchers, exactly, Julie. Your teacher was very sad that you didn't go into fashion design. Oh, you became a reading specialist and still find out how to read patterns. Oh, yep. Yeah, I'm totally a hands-on physical learner too. That's why I love taking classes occasionally. I mean, videos are great. All that's great, but when you can do an in-person class with an instructor and they can be there and you can touch their samples and see how they're doing it right in front of you, that's always really nice. All right, we're gonna go tonight until we finish this heart up. I don't think that'll take too long. But yeah, we might have at least 2 more days of embroidery on this thing. So let's see, that would leave us at, oh man, that's gonna leave us at Thursday, so whew, we might not quite finish this before we start the hand stitch project on Monday. So, grr, we might finish, but we'll be cutting it close. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. If we do, that's fine. We will, when we start block 3, we'll just finish up block 2 real quick. We'll get them all done. But still hoping to get it done beforehand. And you know what? Oh, I feel like I have a knot. Oh no, it's just the thread from my applique. But the English paper piecing might not take as long as what I think it will either. So with the English paper piecing, you know, I have kind of allotted till the end of the month to finish that. That's like two weeks after we start, I think. But it might not take that long. I think it's 40 pieces total. And I don't know, it might not take that long. If that's the case, and we don't finish this, we'll just come back to this before we get to block 3. And if we have even more time, maybe I'll get I'll get a quilt the border of my Splendid Sampler quilt, which is still not done. I still need to quilt that border. So if we randomly got a free day in here, that would be pretty sweet. I could get a little further on that. Otherwise, that guy's never gonna get done, right? That'd be sad. It's getting done no matter what. Just not yet. All right, I kind of pulled that one a little too tight, so I'm gonna loosen it up again so I can get that nice arch out of there. And I really am making these loose, like they're way loose than I would normally make stitches, but I think it's helping. It's helping getting that little arch. They can be loose, that's okay. All right, oh man, I hope I don't run out of thread and just have like one more stitch left. That would be sad. That would be sad, sad. Oh, is it Millie? Let me know if I'm getting that wrong, but it is in, I have a post above, just like, if you look at my Facebook post here, there's a link above, for the hand stitch project. That's the English paper piecing project. So there's a link to that. That gets you to her blog post, Blair's blog post about that. It's helpful to have her book, but you also will need the paper templates. Oops, I got one of those loops again here, guys. So I'm gonna just pull in the center of that loop till it's up to the needle, and then I'm gonna just go in between the threads and pop it out. But you will need the paper piecing templates for it. And those you can get off of her website. If you're on my newsletter, I did put a link to that in the newsletter that went out today. Otherwise, if you go to her blog post, and again, that blog post I put a link to in my Facebook post here tonight, way down towards the bottom of that blog post where it says something about her kits for it, that's actually the templates, the paper templates. And if you order them soon, you'll probably have them in time for the English paper piecing project. Otherwise, in the book, the book you can probably get really quick off of Amazon. And there are the sizes of the templates written in the book, but you'll probably have to look online to download those from somewhere. It's easiest if you just get the templates, I think. Oh, you ordered, for the Splendid Sampler. For the Splendid Sampler, while you're making it, the blocks end up 6.5 inches, but once they're sewn in the quilt, then they end up being 6 inches. So that's the size of those for the Splendid Sampler. That's awesome that you ordered your book, Kathleen, though. That'll be fun. So, and that's the other thing. I have a block in the Splendid Sampler project, and they're working on the Splendid Sampler now again. And I don't know when my block is gonna come up. So whenever that comes up, we'll probably stop everything that we're working on, and we'll work on my block. We'll stitch it up. Oh, Valerie, you got the Wisecraft books. Good. So that'll come soon then. So yeah, so it does say the sizes of the templates in the book, but you'll need to look them up. Like it's, like an 8-sided chrysanthemum that's, X number of inches big. You know what I mean? Like they're very specific, and I think specific to English paper piecing. But if you just Google or something the exact size that it says in the book, then you'd probably be able to find the sizes somewhere. Then you wouldn't have to get the templates. But man, I'm happy that I have the templates all ready to go, and I don't have to cut out little pieces of paper or anything. So I would recommend getting the templates. Oh, Millie, that's so sweet. Oh, and Millie, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right too. I'm so happy you like the block. So Yeah, my block for the Splendid Sampler is the one that is embroidered and it looks like a little crocheted doily. So that's the one that when that one comes out again. New blocks are released every Thursday for that Splendid Sampler project. So if my block comes out one of these Thursdays, then we'll stitch that up again. Maybe we'll do it different. I'm kind of tempted to stitch it like really, really big. What size are the blocks that we're working on now? For the I Love Home, I think these are going to end up being, what size were these? 18 inches total. Right now, I mean, the piece of fabric that I'm working on is a 10, I think, inch fabric, but we're going to cut them down to 8 inches, I believe. All right, here we are. So I think, yeah, 8 inches, 8.5 inches, something like that is what the center area of these blocks are going to turn out to be. But I think once they're bigger, I think they're 18 inches, the full block. You know, once we sew all the fabric around it and stuff. Come on now, there we go. All right, let's weave in this end, and we got both these little hearts done today. So yeah, unfortunately, I do think this is going to take at least 2 days yet, this embroidery, maybe even 3. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. We'll get it done when we get it done. That is okay. But doing that little scalloped edge. Oh, 8 inch. Okay, awesome, Patricia. Doing that little scalloped edge sped things up, I believe. All right, there we go. Wove it in 3 times. Snip. There we are, 2 cute little scalloped hearts. Ooh, I'm gonna try and, this one's a little tight. Maybe we can pull it out a little bit, make it more bloopy. There, just shaping them a little bit. Getting picky. All right, there we go. So little scalloped, and then we finished this. We did all this this line and then all the way around here today too. So that's quite a bit of embroidery. All right, awesome guys. I'm going to take this out again when I'm not working on a project. I do like to take it out so it doesn't get too crimped. But there we are. So tomorrow, I think for sure we will get this door. We'll do the chain stitch on the outside, then like a back stitch, and then like a little stitch with a French knot, I think. And then maybe we'll go and do these little windows. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. This little area here. I don't know. Can we get all this done in one day? Maybe at least one window and a door. And then maybe we can get this done the next day. So maybe it still will only take 2 days for the embroidery. That'd be great. I would love it. We could have all the embroidery done by Wednesday, because then we'd have Thursday and Friday to sew the block, and that might be just enough time. So awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening. Alrighty. Thank you again, guys, for joining me tonight. I appreciate it a ton. Here we are. Aw, I think those scallops look nice. They frame the heart. They frame the hearts well, I think. So awesome, great. So let's hope by Wednesday we are done with the embroidery. I will get this up on YouTube tonight, so you can watch the replay there, or the replay will also stay here on Facebook. My YouTube is Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. And again, just to share again the links that are in this post here, there's a link to join the block of the month. There's plenty of time to join. It is free. I'd love if you'd stitch with me and then share what you're working on in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. I love seeing what you guys are doing there. And then I have the links to that Kismet box, trinket box. And I finally finished a project. I finished the Craft a Happy Life project there. Woo! But if you wanted to make that this box, it is linked above as well, and then also the hand-stitched project. We will be starting that this coming Monday, which will be like no time at all. Oh, thanks, Tamara. My little kitty tattoo. All right, guys. Well, I will catch you tomorrow night, and thanks again for chit-chatting with me. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Good night.